About 2 weeks ago, we talked about the new Demi Lovato record. And on one of the songs was an artist called YUNGBLUD, who I had never heard before. You had never heard before. So we checked out his new album, and we're here to talk about it. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
Welcome to Not Every Single. So, I love this album. What'd you think?
Oh, you love it?
I'd say I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's cool. I think it's very solid. I think I listened to it a couple of times and it's growing on me even more.
Yeah, let's get right into it because I have a lot to talk about. First of all, I love this guy. Very
cool guy.
Positive.
Cool guy.
Very positive, putting a lot of good messages out there and being like very connected to his fans and just encouraging, spreading positivity. So I instantly like him. What's not to like?
He's British. He wears pink socks.
Yeah, has like a whole Robert Smith vibe going on, sort of a Billy Idol, and with a little dash of like Hot Topic MCR kind of look going on.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, the pop punk more emo scene was probably an integral part of his musical discovery, I think, and bringing that into the modern era and bringing in more modern themes into that genre. It's pretty cool.
And what's so cool is not only doing that, but bringing with it these like 80s influences, not just in the songwriting and the instrumentation, but also in the production techniques, which I want to talk a bit about.
Should we start with, okay, so I found this on, I think, like New Release Radar or like, Hot Hits or whatever on Spotify, and I listened to it. And I mean, both of us had the same first impression based on the cover art.
Yeah, we thought, okay, it was more because of the name and how the name was spelled. I thought it was going to be like angry, like trap music.
That's kind of what it looked like. And I guess I didn't make the connection to the Demi song right away. But yeah, it's like, I thought it was going to be something totally different. And then this Tissues comes on and I was just like, what? Do I like this? Like, it's kind of emo. It's not really my genre. There was something very, what at first I thought was that it sounded a bit like Faith by George Michael. Just
a
like
little bit.
The beat of it. And so I looked it up. Oh, no. This also happened. I was curious. Okay. I looked at the who wrote it.
Gotcha.
And I
that's
saw
right.
that Robert Smith was credited. And so then I went, looked that up, and it is it's samples a Cure song. Yeah,
Robert Smith of The Cure, clearly very influential on this record. And it's cool that it samples The Cure. He wears his influences on his sleeves. And I think his sleeve, that's the impression, right? On his sleeve.
Now I'm questioning.
Anyway,
everything.
I like that. Why not? Why hide it? Just put it out there. There's a lot of influences I wrote down. Obviously Billy Idol and The Cure, but also stuff like The Church and Modern English, these 80s British bands that are using acoustic guitar in that way. And that was really cool to hear through this record, is like sort of this jangly acoustic guitar that's always sitting underneath. So maybe sometimes it's the focal point of the song, like the closer or on the funeral, but it's always there. And I think that really fills in this almost sort of melancholy but like happy feeling.
Yeah, that's one thing I got from the single. It's like it's very happy and has got a good message. Like it has a kind of a lighter chorus than some of the other songs on the album.
Which song are you talking about?
Tissues. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
we were talking about Tissues before. It's a great single. This is a perfect single. I think it's a standout song on the album for sure, even though it's solid all the way through every song. I love the phrasing of adored.
Yeah.
On the chorus is just like so catchy. It's unbelievably catchy.
It's got a really catchy voice that you latch onto right away. And what I heard that I liked is like this imperfection too. And it totally fits within, his message and his image and what he's putting out there, that he goes for big notes that maybe he can't hit perfectly, but I like it better that way. Yeah. And you sort of get this raspiness in his voice and stuff. I mean, I grew up liking Smashing Pumpkins and stuff. I mean, you know, Billy Corgan's voice is insane, and he's often like reaching for crazy notes that he can't quite hit, and you can hear the imperfection. And it's similar here. I think it's really charming. I'm not saying he's off key or anything, but you can sort of hear that. What am I trying to say? You can
hear the effort, you know. Yeah, it's not perfect, and it's endearing. And I know a lot of people have that sort of a connection with an artist they really love. It's like those little imperfections. It's the same with like White Stripes does that a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a perfect example as well. It injects some emotion into it. It humanizes the whole thing. I don't want it to sound perfect, especially not a record like this. I really love the opener. I think it's a perfect choice as an opener, and this record is really sequenced perfectly. And this sort of like party at the end of the world sort of feel that it has.
Yeah, I was even, at some point I pulled the lyrics up for the first song, or they just popped up when I was finished listening. And I think within the first stanza, he says, "I'm emotional." Yeah. or something very similar. I was like, yeah, it's an emo album. It's an emo album. And he's immediately like, yep, I'm emotional. Like, that's what this record's going to be. It's about no one coming to my funeral. Yeah. I'm sad, but it's still a happy like feeling. It's just like, yeah, like you said, party at the end of the world.
That's what I felt from this whole record, and I loved it for it. Is that also is the opener also the song where he's saying like, it might not be the opener, but saying, you know, if you hate yourself, that's all right. If you love yourself, that's all right. It's just like
what song. Yeah, that's good.
Just sort of a come one, come all. Let's all have a good time and accept ourselves as the world's burning kind of feeling.
I love this as a song for like young people right now. Like if I was a teenager, I probably would have thought I was too cool for this album, even though I wasn't at all. And we're in a world where we don't feel that way as much anymore. And we listen to different genres. And I feel like for a lot of teenagers, this could be like a really important album.
Agreed. And a really important person to have around in the zeitgeist. We need more people like this. And I love that he's out there, that he's has the success that he has and is putting out the positive message that he's putting out. I want to go into the production a little bit because there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Now, like I talked about, that sort of jangly 80s acoustic is always sitting underneath, but you also have a vast palette of sounds, whether it's interesting synth patches, really soft electric piano on Sweet Heroine that, oh man, I thought was perfect. Loved it. He's also trying out really interesting vocal layering on things like Running. And then who shows up? Willow.
You got to have Willow on your album like this. You got to have Willow. It's just essential.
It feels right.
It's kind of dangerous because you know her vocals are going to like put you to shame no matter what. She's maybe my favorite newer vocalist. I love her.
I felt like they sort of elevated each other on that track.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, you can almost hear them like pushing each other to really give it their all. So Running is a huge standout for me. And
Memories has Willow?
Oh, is that it? Yeah. Whichever one has Willow is the one we're talking about.
Okay, maybe that's in the lyrics or something.
And then, something like Cruel Kids where it's very, very vulnerable, but then has this like, yeah, rah, rah, rah type of chorus going on.
Because like we don't, there's albums that you have in your life, and there's these albums that like you wallow in, that you're just like, I'm really sad and I'm just gonna like cry or like think about how sad my life is. And there's other ones that's like, yeah, other people. We were watching that interview and he said this first when he first made an album, he was basically saying like, is there anyone else out there like me? And this is that album for himself, but like that first album was like that for himself, but this is his album to other people who are wondering that, like young people.
Yeah.
And who like need that, like you can still be great, you know?
You don't even have to be a young person for that. For
sure.
To apply, but I totally agree.
I'm definitely not saying like this is an album for teens only. I think everyone could love it. I guess my point being that like that's such a, you know, a time when you need things like that more than any other time in your life.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. And you know, you're not wallowing in sadness for very long on this record, maybe a little at a time. And then by the time the chorus comes around, you're stoked again. One thing I want to talk about is the Boy in the Black Dress, the closer. This is my favorite song.
Oh, this is your favorite?
On the record,
okay.
Yeah. My favorite song on the record, 10 out of 10 for me. I think there's something in the melody. Now the lyrics are something else too. I'm really impressed with the lyrics and the way he ends it and leaves the record that way. But it's the melody for me on that song in the chorus and the way the chorus just kind of slides in. Man, I thought that the chorus in particular is 10 out of 10. And when you can pull off a chorus like that, especially in the closer track, I mean, talk about leave him wanting more.
Yeah, it's a short, I think it's like a 33-minute album, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 12 songs. Perfect.
Short
I think
songs.
The sequencing and, you know, I'm assuming some stuff was maybe left on the cutting room floor, trim the fat
maybe we'll get a
bit.
Deluxe version of
nice.
This album later on.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You're probably right. I mean,
short album.
What album doesn't get a deluxe version these days, like 2 days later? But yeah, I think this is one of my favorite new albums that we've talked about. I think it's right up there with the Demi album. I want to listen to both again. And, you know, that's our first impressions of YUNGBLUD, who until yesterday, we had no idea who that was. I just saw that he was on the Demi album.
Yeah. Yeah. And I listened back a little to the back catalog. I think you would like a lot of it too. You? Yep.
There's an album before.
There's like 2 albums before.
There's 2 before?
Yeah.
But this is self-titled.
Yeah.
That's
so this
interesting.
is like this is sort of like the emergence of a true artist, I believe.
Awesome. Well, I'm into it. I think it's definitely a contender for like our end of the year list that we're starting to work on.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. But for now, thanks for joining us. This is Not Every Single. I'm Joe.
And I'm Stephanie.
Would love to hear what you think of YUNGBLUD. Comment below. And you know what? Actually, I was about to hit stop. Hold on a second. I've actually never done this on this channel. We've been going for over a month now. Just want to say, if you dig it, subscribe. That's it. All right. See ya.